We're at the Akron RubberDucks 2025 Hot Stove Banquet, and Cade Smith is our guest. Cade, welcome back to Akron.
Thanks for having me.
And Cade, a member of the RubberDucks in 2022 and 2023. Cade, as you think back to the time that you had here in Akron, returning to this town, what stands out to you, your memories as a RubberDuck?
I think seeing the stadium was just a great reminder of just how much fun it was to be here and how beautiful that stadium was. That atmosphere is great. There's a lot of memories down in the bullpen. My memories of walking out through the outfield before the game, settling down in the bullpen with the guys who are there, and just enjoying the atmosphere of the crowd. The marketing department's done really well as far as drawing crowds, and the fans are into it. So I always really enjoyed that atmosphere. I felt like we definitely had the best stadium in the Eastern League as opposed to going on the road. Just really enjoying actually being home in Akron.
What lessons, because we know there's a development journey that happens for each player, what lessons did you take from your time as a RubberDuck?
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest theme during my time in Akron was not trying to do too much. There's a period of time where I was trying to be outside of myself and try too hard in the sense of tightening up and putting too much pressure on myself, and so identifying that, working with the pitching coaches and the staff, and really just learning how to relax into the things I do well and do those diligently is something that was a big shift in my career from just a perspective point.
Who was helpful for you in your development here in Akron?
Owen Dew was with us in 2022. He was a big help, definitely working on me with that particular mindset. And then Brad Goldberg in 2023 was with us, and he was with us last year in Cleveland. And so Goldie helped me with a lot of different mechanical things and different adjustments, and helping me understand kind of myself on the mound and the way that my body moves and what do I need to do as far as searching for efficiency and smoothness rather than other things.
What would you say is the biggest difference, thinking of the pitcher you were, working on things here in Akron, to the pitcher that people are seeing now on the major league stage?
Yeah, I think there's definitely, part of that process that just takes time to, mature, not only physically, but also to continue to learn how I need to move. I'm a big, tall guy. I got really long limbs. It's not always easiest to understand how they're moving. So learning how to really control that, how to, like I said, search for that efficiency and smoothness down the mound as opposed to other things, help me understand a good tempo for my mechanics and what that feels like, and then how to get back to that. So as far as how I pitch now versus then, not only is there that understanding, but also that just mindset of being calm and understanding what's under my control is something that's been so refined. And so I think that those are probably big things. There's other little details as far as continuing to understand my strengths and develop them, and then also to find things that complement them. Those come with just time and experience, right? Learning how to play the game with your eyes and see things and just react to them and basically, operate with what's in front of you.
Well, the major leagues was in front of you at the beginning of the 2024 season. What do you remember about that time, finding out that you were going to the major leagues in your debut?
Yeah, the fact that my family was able to come down was really a blessing from God. There was no guarantee that they were going to be able to be there because my dad had heart surgery the previous December, and so he actually was able to see his cardiologist on his lunch break a couple days before and got cleared to fly, and so he was able to make the trip. And so really I was just enjoying spending the time with them, hanging out before opening day, and just the first time I'd seen them in over a year. And so then when they did announce the roster and I was on it, it was like we celebrated quickly, but then as we were back to the card game that we were playing. And so for my actual debut, they were in the stands. I didn't see them during my first inning. I was focused on what I was doing. But then when I was walking off the field, I saw them jumping up and down, waving their arms, going crazy. And that's what it kind of hit me, that this was actually something special and significant. So I was really blessed that, they could be there for that moment.
And you remained with the team up in the major leagues. When did it feel like for you that you really belonged at that level?
Well, I think, My wife and I both operated all year in the sense that there's no guarantee we're going to stay. You know, it's super common for guys to get shuffled up and down, especially in their first year. So we never, became complacent and never took anything for granted. The big, I think, theme for the year was that we wanted to be intentional with that so that we could really enjoy all the opportunities that were ahead of us, right? To enjoy the different, stadiums and cities that we got to travel to enjoy the experiences, being part of that team and, playing in those environments. So I wouldn't say that I ever took anything for granted like that. And I still don't. I still know that there's work to be done and that, I've got to go out and compete and perform. So that's kind of the way that my mindset has settled. But certainly there's confidence that comes with that of knowing that my abilities are, useful and competitive, in that I can continue to trust them and develop them and just continue to leave it out on the field in that sense.
And on the field, the team was so successful. You guys end up winning the division, going to the postseason. Was there a point on the field for you that really was kind of a turning point, a key point of growth for you?
Well, I think that I don't have much of a frame of reference as far as what it should be like in a major league clubhouse, but I do know that despite that, I can say with certainty that the clubhouse atmosphere was just phenomenally special. It was a ton of fun to be a part of. Guys gelled well. It was a great thing, like great community to be part of. I felt like I was welcomed into it. The guys who came and went were welcomed in, and they were missed. And so I really enjoyed that, and I think that was a big part of the way that the team played. Like we played with a unified front, and it was very clear that we were all pushing towards the same goal. And so I really valued that, and to see that in action is something that's really special and really unique, I think.
The bullpen in particular had a special year. You guys, who are among the young group of relievers especially, really rose to the occasion. Why did you and those others have the success that you did so quickly?
I think that, like I said, the clubhouse being a special group, the bullpen was very much the same way. It was its own semi-isolated culture, but the guys who have experience and more time were, really intentional with how they shared that. And the young guys, I think, came in willing to learn, willing to look at how the guys who've been there before them do things and take what they can and apply that to themselves. So besides that as well, like the standard that was put forth by the veterans in the bullpen, there was also just that super shared idea that we were all pushing towards the same goal. That whenever the phone rang, it could be any name, everybody is ready to go and help the team. And so keeping it simple, I think, in that regard, made it fun and made it easy to know that we're all working towards the same thing, and we can push one another and hold each other accountable, and that is going to be actually something that's healthy.
You got to be on the mound in the postseason. The team relied on you so much. What was the most fun moment that you think of as you look back at that postseason run?
I mean, as far as, never having experienced postseason baseball before, not even, having tickets to any games as a fan, to actually see that environment and be in it is something that is so special. Like, every seat is packed, every fan is involved in the game, every pitch matters, and everyone is watching. And, all the eyes, all the attention is on you, but that's great. It's just an environment to go and compete in, and to trust the hours and hours and years of work that you've done, and to put it to the test, basically. So I treasured those moments, those atmospheres, and they were great games too, back and forth, and they were exciting, and it was, just such a cool thing to be a part of, and I consider myself extremely fortunate to be able to experience that in my first year. So now I know that the guys, we've gotten a taste of that, and we're looking forward to doing the same thing as soon as we can.
You mentioned talking about even how you approach things, not only physically but mentally as well, throughout your development journey. What sort of strength had you built mentally to be able to perform at the stage that we're seeing you now?
I think the biggest thing I learned in college was learning how to learn. Is the idea that, like, learning what do I need to do to understand things, to seek things out. How is that process? How do I go about that process in a way that I'm going to retain that information and actually put it into practice? So when I came into the organization, those are the kind of principles I applied with the conversations I had with the experts in their various fields, and trying to take what I can to try it. If it's productive, if it makes sense to me, like incorporate it. If not, that's okay. Like, it might not be something I need. But I think having that mindset of always trying to learn and keeping a short-term memory is something that's super helpful. So, regardless of if I have a good outing or a bad outing, it's rewatch it, see how did I execute, how did I do with the things that I can control, and recognize very distinctly what I can't control, learn what I can, and move on. There's another game like tomorrow. Like, it's time to forget about it and move forward.
There's another season ahead.
That's right.
What are you looking forward to most?
I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting back out on the field, to start to get back into those atmospheres where you're playing with guys that you have history with. So it's good. It's going to be good to see friends, but then also just to be out in the sunlight and to play on the grass and to really enjoy some of that warmth. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing the work the guys have put in, including myself, over the offseason come to fruition, and looking forward to seeing what kind of a clubhouse atmosphere we can culture so we can push towards that shared goal of a World Series.
Well, Cade, you've been such a great part of RubberDucks and Guardians baseball in recent years. We're so excited and proud of you. Thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck as you enter the season.
Thank you, Marco.
That's former RubberDucks pitcher, current Cleveland Guardians pitcher, Cade Smith.